Hey guys, welcome to a new video. Today I want to go over everything that was changed with yesterday's update, 7.4. It's not much, but I just want to show you the most important things, and we got two things that were not mentioned in the patch notes, but that were changed at the Draugr, so be sure to watch that part if you're using the vehicle. And I also want to go over a few things about the event, and specifically about the event cosmetics, which might be interesting if you consider buying them. So be sure to stay tuned, but we're gonna start with the update. Okay, so for the Nightbird, the controls were changed, the flight controls, and it now feels a little less responsive, a little less twitchy and agile. It feels a little bit clunky. Just stop to log on to me. Feels a little bit more clunky. Not like you can't use it anymore, but a lot more like the attack heli. So it's just not as swift and agile anymore. In addition, the third-person camera of the vehicle was changed, but that's not really noticeable for me, to be honest, as I'm not using the Nightbird that much, which is pretty obvious in my flying right there. And there was one air-to-ground missile removed. So there's just one available now, because apparently Nightbird was a bit of a hassle for all of the ground vehicles. I don't know what that chat is doing down there. And we're gonna get into the SRAW. The SRAW had its zoom reduced, but what is a lot more significant apparently is the field of view. So you can see a lot more now, and you don't just have this really small window that we had before. I think it's a very, very good change. Then the audio cue was lowered for the rockets, so it's not as obvious anymore when it comes towards you. And the icon, hold on, just putting one out. So the icon that shows up for me here, the blue icon, I can still see my own rocket, but before you could also see that in red, or whatever color you have for your enemies, when there was an enemy rocket flying around from the SRAW. But now you can't see this anymore. You will still see your own rockets, apparently, but you won't see the enemy rockets anymore. And what we also got for the SRAW is a persistent reload kinda penalty. That is for the SRAW and for list TGM. So when I'm out of ammo with the SRAW, apparently what some people did was to manually redeploy to get back on the field with full ammo. But that is not working anymore. However, there is a little bit of a limitation here. So when I'm spawning in right now, I don't have ammo for my SRAW, apparently. You can see it in the bottom right corner. So here's where the penalty gets triggered. What also doesn't work is when I would jump off the cliff right here to kind of commit suicide. Then I would still deploy with 0 ammunition, so someone would have to resupply me. But what does work, or I get killed, normally. So it needs to be a natural death, kind of. To get your ammunition back. But what does work, that we found out yesterday on the stream after someone asked, is when you kill yourself with, I think an explosive would work as well, but incendiaries definitely work fine. Of course you have to skip the revive. And now when I redeploy, I do have full ammo for my SRAW again. Magic. And I get hit by whatever's coming down from the sky. And then there's the Ponthawk. And there were also a few changes made. So it does have a height limit of 100 meters now. I think on a map like this, where you have a lot of verticality, it is probably measured from the highest point here somewhere. So I should get stuck at some point right here. Yeah, I do. Okay, so this is the highest I can go here on this map, which is 100 meters from the ground. Or probably from the highest point somewhat of the ground. What was also changed on the Draugr is that it can get destroyed with one rocket from either an FXM or a vehicle lock-on. So not two rockets like it was before, which always felt like it was a bit too much and the vehicle was a bit too sturdy, but now it is a lot more vulnerable. But in return, that magnetic effect that it had when you were on the ground and it just really pulled you towards the ground, that was lowered a lot, so you can maneuver it a lot easier on the ground here. which should make it a lot easier to get some nice road kills. And then we have the Draugr, and I'm not flying it because that doesn't make any sense because I don't have anything unlocked right here. But what was changed for the Draugr is that the DRFM jammer now also intercepts all incoming rockets or all incoming lock-ons, no matter if they come from a vehicle or from infantry. And the kerosene bomb was changed, but that was not mentioned in the patch notes, and the Battlefield Comms Twitter account just came up with this yesterday evening. So I have to take a look at the notes here. What was changed is that the radius of the kerosene bomb was lowered from 20 meters to 18, and the radius of the lingering fire upon explosion was also lowered from 20 meters to 18. Kerosene bomb was a bit of a problem during the last few weeks since the Draugr was added to the game, so I think this is a fair change for everyone. And then we are at the event, Dead Space event with the mode Outbreak. I'm gonna hop into it real quick in a second and now just give you my impression of it and the things that I would like to see changed, or maybe changed in a new version of it, if it will come back at some point or maybe in the next game. Who knows? There are 4 unlockable cosmetics that you have right here, and what was changed compared to the last event is that you can unlock them in any game mode. You can earn them in any official game mode, of course, but when you play this event mode Outbreak, it doubles the progression. So to get this MP28 skin that you usually only get for 80 ribbons, you only need 40 ribbons. And I did that and it took me 2.5 hours, and I think that was a lot better than doing it in the other game modes. But whatever you prefer, if you don't like that mode, you're not forced to play it, unlike in former events. And we're gonna head over to the store real quick, because here there is a bundle as well. It's called Scenario 5, and that's the limited time Dead Space bundle. It says it will be available for 12 days, 13 days, while the event will only be available for 7 days. I don't know why that bundle will be available for longer. Maybe it is a mistake and it will be removed next week alongside the event. I don't know. If you want it, I wouldn't wait for 2 weeks. So it includes a legendary skin for Casper. I don't know why they went with Casper, because Isaac, that the skin was inspired by, is actually an engineer. So they should have given it to Boris or Crawford, in my opinion. It looks nice, so would have been nice. A good addition, at least to the engineers. Then there's a legendary Rorsch skin, a legendary PP29 skin. They all have this, or are adapted from Dead Space weapons. The MP28 skin again, that is actually adapted from the plasma cutter, one of the main weapons actually, or the nicest weapons in Dead Space. And then you have the helmet of Isaac as a weapon charm. And one thing you should know is that this is the same skin for the MP28 that you can unlock by playing. So normally this bundle, price is not shown here because I bought it. I know it's dumb, but it's the only way I can show you everything. So the MP28 skin, if you unlock it by playing, the bundle will not cost 2,200 Battlefield coins, but instead I think it was 1,700 something. So it's 430 something down because you unlock that skin. If you want to go for that bundle, I would recommend unlocking that skin first and then buy the bundle and, save a few coins. But what I want to show you for all of those skins, and what you should be aware of, is that you will only get this exact look of the skin when you use certain attachments. That happens for all of the legendary skins, but if you are not willing to change them, and you still want to have this exact look, you might not be happy with what you get for your money. So what you need on the MP28 is the factory barrel, the laser sight, and the standard issue drum mag. The others look fine as well, so there's not a significant difference here. And you also need to use the red dot sight that is on the weapon by default. This is alright for this weapon. For the PP29 and for the Rorsch, I'm not sure everyone wants to use them like this. So we're gonna have a look at this right now. PP29 means you will have to use the factory barrel to have this exact look that the skin was made for. You will have to use the 8R holo sight, because that changes a little bit. The other optics all look like they would look by default. And then, which is probably the most significant part, at least for me, is that you have to use the standard issue magazine if you want to have that look of the magazine. Otherwise, it will just look like the normal PP28. So if you use subsonics or if you use high power, you will completely miss out on that part of the skin. Just for your information, I'm not complaining, but maybe it's interesting for some of you out there who are thinking about buying this package or maybe one of the weapon skins. And then for the Rorsch, you can't change anything from the magazine or the barrel, but for the Rorsch, what actually changes is the UH1 Smart. Weird choice here, in my opinion, but alright, okay. And then what gives you this distinct look on the capacitor is only the high power capacitor, so the one that you use for sniping. If you prefer to play the weapon in any other style, with the stream capacitor or the burst capacitor, it would just look completely normal, like any default skin. Now we're gonna get into the mode real quick. And my gripe with the mode right now is, first of all, that these zombies can be really, really dumb. Some of them are just standing around looking at you, waiting for you to shoot them, and others, they get out of their box and charge right at you or laser you with their weapon. The other thing that I think is a bit sad in this mode is that the weapons don't have any weapon skins. So even though I have unlocked this wonderful Dead Space skin for the MP28, I don't have it in the Dead Space mode. And what I think, to give the game mode a little bit of a twist, I think it would have been cool to add mini bosses, like maybe a huge Geist or something, or a huge Juggernaut or whatever. Just like maybe a bigger version of the ones we have right now. But it's just as an idea, maybe it gives it, you know, it spices everything up a little bit. And what I think would be helpful as well is if the mode would have a weapon rotation. Because right now, you play with the same, at the end, up to 6 weapons over and over again in each and every run. So it doesn't really have any replayability because the mode itself does not change at all. If you play it 6 times in a row, you have actually 6 times it's the same experience. And I think they could have done a little bit more there. And maybe adding different like rosters of weapons would have been one thing to spice it up as well. So you also have to adapt every run, you have to adapt to different weapons. Might have made it a little bit more interesting, I think. And then my biggest gripe with this mode is that even though at the start screen it says that it has full XP, that's what I mean, he's like so shy, you know? And then there's others and they come charging right at you. Like, even though at the start screen it says that the mode has full XP, it only has moderate XP. Which means that all of the kills you do here only count up to Mastery 12. So you will be able to unlock, for example, if you had never played the MP28 before, you would be able to rank it up to Tier 3 or Mastery 12, unlock all of the weapon attachments, but beyond this, the kills won't count anymore. The weapons are limited anyhow. You have access to 6 weapons, and these weapons are always the same. And these weapons are the MCS, they're the MP28, they are the PP29, and the PKP, and the VHX, I think, as well. So why restrict it? Are they afraid that new players could have it a little bit easier than others? What are they afraid of? It's been almost 3 years that the game was released. Why are they still sitting on this XP? I don't get it. I think it's pretty nice that they gave us something towards the end of the season and towards the end of kind of the live service of this game. No one expected this event. No one asked for it. And we still got something, even though it's just for a week. And it is mainly focused on the cosmetics and on people buying the cosmetics. It's an alright mode though. It's okay for a 1 week event to unlock these cosmetics, and that's it. Still, if it should return, or if they want to bring it back in the next game, I think they should have a look maybe at my feedback, at feedback from others, and take this into consideration. And then they could add a really cool zombie mode. Which is, I think, maybe not something Battlefield is missing, but something that would be nice to have. Not necessary, but it's nice to have. And that was it for today. That was it for the video as well. It was everything that I wanted to say, and it was everything that I wanted to show you. And I'm gonna finish the round with these guys here, because I don't wanna just leave them, because I just randomly joined them. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And I'm gonna see you in the next one. I'm the Catwoman, and you're awesome. Okay, it was weird at the end, but take care everyone, and see you in the next one. Bye bye!